Arman Tsarukyan, a contender in the 155-pound weight division, will be fighting this weekend against Joaquim Silva on the Vittori Cannonier Fight Night card, and it was pretty much a head-scratcher the moment it was made. Tsarukyan was supposed to be fighting Moicano before then on a Fight Night main event. Moicano had to pull out because I want to say like a knee injury or a meniscus injury or something like that, but Moicano's out. It's supposed to be a Fight Night main event. My guess is Tsarukyan didn't really want to waste a training camp and kind of just wanted to stay active at least. And he wanted to find another matchup, and the best they could do is Joaquim Silva. Joaquim Silva is a decent fighter, but let's be real, his last fight was a win over Jesse Ronson, second round KO. Before then, he lost to Ricky Glenn by first round KO, lost to Nasrat Haqparast by second round KO, and his best win, probably Jared Gordon by third round KO in general. So he's 1-2 in his last three matchups. And I guess that was the only person that wanted to fight, or at least was willing to take the chance of fighting Arman Tsarukyan, which is absolutely crazy. I'm surprised no one really stepped in general. I have the rankings written down here. We can kind of go through them real quick. I think there's probably about a couple guys that probably could have stepped in. Obviously, you don't know their situations in general with fights that are being made, but this is a really big problem, especially in the lightweight division. I'll probably get into that a little bit later, but Arman Tsarukyan is a guy that's not getting accepted in the matchups, and he's still very young. But the one thing I don't want happening is not his prime, but his years just getting wasted by a very slow lightweight division that won't take risks, especially at the top of the division, the top five there. I'm not saying like a Dariush or a Oliveira, and I kind of won't even say Gaethje at this point because he did fight Fiziev. But your Chandler and your Dustin Poirier, who's not really taking chances outside the division. Some of these top contenders really need to take chances outside of the top five and really kind of just keep their spot there. But the division's not moving at all. And I would hate to see a guy like Arman Tsarukyan, even though he's 26 years old, probably not complete yet, but he's extremely talented for his age, get his years wasted because of a really backed up lightweight division that really doesn't want to move things around. So the rankings as it stands right now after UFC 289, Charles Oliveira number 1. I don't think the rankings updated yet. I think that's tomorrow, but Charles Oliveira number 1, Dustin Poirier number 2, Justin Gaethje number 3, Beneil Dariush number 4. Obviously, we know Charles Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush was a matchup already made by that point. I'm not sure if Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje was made at that point either, but I guess that's kind of uncertain. Maybe they just wanted to make that matchup in general, so I won't get too crazy there, but that was still definitely a possibility because they're thinking about doing that for the UFC 288 card because they're missing fights there as well if Burns didn't fill in. But Michael Chandler, obviously, going to be fighting Conor McGregor most likely. Fiziev, haven't really seen him in a while. I don't know what's going on with Fiziev. I think a couple guys have been calling him out. Haven't heard from him after the Justin Gaethje fight. Mateus Gamrot, after the Jalen Turner fight, got a win there. Don't really know much from him at this point. I thought when Gamrot and Tsarukyan fought, I thought Tsarukyan won that fight. They gave the decision to Gamrot, but it was still a pretty close matchup. I wouldn't think they would run that fight again, especially on semi-short notice, so I'm not going to get too crazy on that one. But RDA, even though he is kind of just wanting to focus on 170-pound division, Tsarukyan has called him out before by turning down his fight offers or whatever in the past. Jalen Turner, haven't really heard much from him. See him training with Khamzat Chimaev. I guess maybe the Hooker fight was made at that point as well by the time this fight was made. But this is all before this Joaquim Silva fight was actually made in general. Beat Damir Magulov already, who was number 12. Renato Moicano couldn't fight because he's injured. Matt Favola now moving into 14 as of recently, so probably a Dober was in that spot. And so there's probably about 2 or 3 guys that probably could have filled in there that are ranked fighters, even guys outside the rankings. Like, come on, someone take a chance. It can't just be Joaquim Silva who's going to take a chance and say, maybe if I do beat this guy, I do get ranked. But in all honesty, some of these fighters, I'm not saying in general for 155, but it's better off if you get a guy like Arman Tsarukyan early before he reaches his full prime, because he is 26 years of age. At 30 years of age, you can only imagine what he's going to be like when he has his whole stand-up finished up there and he's a lot better on the feet. But at this point, like, why would you not take that risk? He's number 8 in the division right now, right behind Mateus Gamrot and Rafael Fiziev. Why not take that chance and get up in that division? I don't understand it at all. But in general, lightweight as a whole, not moving at all. You have Dustin Poirier, which a lot of people have as their fan favorite, which I completely understand, right? but he openly said that he does not want to fight Beneil Dariush. I don't think he even really gave a reasoning other than he said it was a bad matchup. But like, bro, that if that's a fight that should have been made, like obviously Charles Oliveira stepped in and actually ended up fighting Beneil Dariush, and he's gonna get a title shot now. But why not make that tough matchup? I guess Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje is a money fight in general, but in all honesty, if Dustin Poirier wanted that title shot, he probably could have gotten Beneil Dariush and probably would have gotten the title shot, and then especially over a Charles Oliveira. But to each their own at this point. But it just feels like these guys are just fighting each other, just the three: Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, and Michael Chandler. It's like a continuous cycle of Conor McGregor, Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, and Michael Chandler in general. I think some of these guys need to take some risks, but I really want to see these divisions move, because I felt the same way about Fiziev and Gamrot and Tsarukyan when they're all coming up. But luckily, Justin Gaethje took the chance on Fiziev, and look, he won that fight, and now he's in a title eliminator. I don't know if like Poirier beat Chandler, I guess, so it puts him in a title eliminator, beat Conor twice, the win over Michael Chandler, and now he's in a title eliminator with Justin Gaethje. Like, it's cool, but I really want to see this division start to move a little bit more, move up. Fiziev, I thought Fiziev won against Gaethje. It was a close matchup. I'm fine with either way on the decision, but I'm happy that Justin Gaethje took that chance in general and fought someone outside the top 5. But some of these other guys need to take a chance on Gamrot. You probably won't see Gamrot versus Dustin Poirier because they train together. But I guess even Tsarukyan would kind of be the same. But Tsarukyan's not full-time at that gym, for what I know. So I could be wrong a little bit there, but why not have a couple of these guys take some chances in there? So what I like now after the Charles Oliveira Beneil Dariush fight, I think Beneil Dariush should fight Arman Tsarukyan. I think that's a good fight to have. I'm assuming Arman Tsarukyan is going to beat Joaquim Silva, which he should. Minus 1,000 favorite. Please do not lose that matchup. But I think Beneil Dariush versus Arman Tsarukyan is the fight to make. He's a surging contender, 26 years of age. By the time that fight happens, he'll probably be 27. Hopefully, in that matchup, Arman Tsarukyan shows off more of his hands. It is developing a little bit more, but his ground game has looked a lot better, especially just in general with controlling guys on the ground. He looked really good against Damir Ismagulov, just controlling him and having such dominant wrestling in that matchup with the grappling as well. Ended up taking Damir Ismagulov's back in that fight. But Beneil Dariush versus Arman Tsarukyan is a very fun fight. Again, Arman Tsarukyan is still very young, so even if he does lose this fight, he can kind of come back later on as a more complete fighter. But Arman Tsarukyan is actively being ducked, I guess. I kind of want to put it that way. Apparently, a lot of guys just didn't take the call for this matchup, and it's kind of a big issue, especially with lightweight. Like other divisions, you could probably say maybe welterweight, but I think those guys are just not active at this point. But the lightweight division, actively, 3 guys, a little percentage of the group are just fighting each other and not fighting outside the top 5. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about the potential matchup between Beneil Dariush and Arman Tsarukyan? And what do you guys think about the situation Arman Tsarukyan's in at this point? Hopefully his career doesn't really get wasted just sitting out the top 5 because no one wants to fight him. And hopefully Beneil Dariush and Arman Tsarukyan is the matchup to happen. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me see you guys next time.